The coffee had gone cold again. Ethan Moore stared at the cup on the kitchen counter, a half ring of brown tracing the rim, the kind of mark that stayed even after scrubbing. His wife, Claire, used to hate that, those little imperfections that made the house feel lived in. She'd wipe down every surface until it gleamed like something out of a real estate photo. But lately, she didn't seem to notice much of anything. It was 6:45 a.m. in Raleigh, North Carolina, a quiet weekday morning. The kind of morning where nothing should feel wrong, but somehow everything did. The light through the window fell flat across the countertop, and Ethan felt that subtle unease again, like standing on a dock when the water below is calm but something big moves just beneath the surface. He took a sip. The coffee was bitter. So was the silence. Claire came down the stairs a few minutes later, already dressed, hair curled, makeup on, wearing a cream-colored blouse he didn't recognize. Her heels clicked softly on the hardwood. She smelled faintly of citrus and perfume. "Morning," she said without looking at him, reaching for the keys. "You don't need breakfast, right? I've got that meeting downtown." Ethan blinked. "You had one yesterday." She smiled, the kind of polite, detached smile people use on strangers. "Different client. Real estate doesn't sleep." He forced a laugh. "Neither do you, apparently." "Don't wait up," she said, and then she was gone. The sound of the door closing echoed longer than it should have. They'd been married for 11 years. Met at Chapel Hill, built a life in Raleigh. 2 kids, Sam, 8, and Grace, 5, who were currently staying with Claire's mother in Wilmington for a few weeks while the kitchen renovation wrapped up. It was supposed to be a break for them, time for Claire and Ethan to reconnect. Only, reconnecting required 2 people who wanted to meet in the middle. Ethan worked from home, managing IT systems for a healthcare company. He'd always been the steady one, organized, patient, the type who fixed things quietly instead of fighting about them. Claire used to love that. "You calm me," she used to say. But over the last few months, something had changed. She'd started working longer hours. New clients, new listings, late-night showings. She began keeping her phone face down on the counter. There were new clothes, tighter, trendier, and a new fitness routine that left her exhausted but radiant. And her laughter, once free and constant, had become careful. Like she was saving it for someone else. Ethan told himself it was nothing. Everyone changes. But one night, he found a text on her iPad. It wasn't explicit, just a name he didn't recognize, Ryan, new client. The message was short. "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about it." His chest tightened. He scrolled up, but most of the thread was gone, deleted. Only a few fragments remained, half-sentences and emojis. A heart, a photo thumbnail that wouldn't load. When Claire came home that night, he didn't say anything. Instead, he watched her move around the kitchen, watched her fingers unlock her phone in one smooth motion, watched her smile faintly at whatever she read. Something in him cracked then, small, almost invisible, but he felt it. Weeks passed. They still went out to dinner on Fridays. Still smiled in photos. Still had the appearance of a good marriage, which was the most deceptive kind. But Ethan noticed everything now. The way she checked her reflection twice before leaving for work. The way her perfume lingered in the car longer than usual. The faint shimmer of lip gloss when she came home late, claiming she'd grabbed drinks with clients. He tried to convince himself he was imagining it. That this was stress, paranoia, or midlife insecurity. But the lies were in the details. One night, when she said she was at the Willow Lounge with coworkers, he drove there. Sat in his car across the street. Waited. The parking lot was nearly empty. Her car wasn't there. He waited another 20 minutes before driving home, gripping the steering wheel so tight that his fingers went white. When she returned 2 hours later, humming softly as she unlocked the door, Ethan sat in the darkened living room, watching her silhouette in the light from the hallway. "Hey," she said, startled. "You're up. Couldn't sleep." "How was your night?" he asked, his voice calm, too calm. "Good," she said, slipping off her heels. "Long day." She leaned down to kiss his cheek, but he turned slightly, letting it land on his jaw instead. Her eyes flickered. Just for a second. That second told him everything. Ethan wasn't the kind of man who snooped. Until he was. He started small, checking her phone when she showered, scanning call logs, looking for hidden apps. Nothing. Claire was careful. Smarter than he wanted to admit. So he went digital. He installed a small GPS tracker beneath the passenger seat of her car, something he justified as safety. He synced her phone to the cloud again, recovered deleted messages, restored backups she thought were gone. And that's when he found him. Ryan Hale. A 38-year-old contractor from Durham. Divorced. 2 kids. Owned a renovation company. The name had popped up on a few invoices for their kitchen remodel months ago. It all made sense now. There were messages, hundreds of them. They started innocently, about tile samples and countertops. Then flirtation. Then late-night texts full of longing and coded phrases. "You make me feel alive again. I can't stop thinking about your hands. Tomorrow at the cabin." Ethan's pulse hammered in his ears. The cabin. He knew it. Her family owned a small property near Jordan Lake, about 40 minutes outside the city. It was supposed to be their weekend escape, somewhere private, peaceful. She'd been using it for something else. Saturday morning, Claire said she was going to visit her mother. Ethan nodded. "Drive safe." As soon as she left, he waited 15 minutes and got in his car. The GPS tracker's app showed her moving south toward the lake. No turns, no detours. When he reached the dirt road that led to the cabin, he parked beneath a cluster of pines. The air was damp, heavy with the smell of rain-soaked earth. His hands trembled as he stepped out, every breath sharp with disbelief. Through the trees, he saw her car. Then another one, a dark gray Ford F-150, parked beside it. He walked closer, quiet, his shoes sinking into the mud. Inside the cabin, the curtains were drawn. But the sound, soft laughter, faint music, the unmistakable rhythm of intimacy, cut through the silence. His vision blurred. He stood there, frozen, watching his own life collapse in slow motion. Every promise, every memory, every quiet morning coffee, all of it shattered, replaced by the sound of her voice whispering another man's name. He didn't knock. He didn't scream. He turned around and walked back to the car, his face pale, his heart silent. That night, Claire came home at midnight. "You're up again?" she asked, her tone careful. He smiled weakly. "Couldn't sleep." She kissed his cheek. He let her. For 2 weeks, Ethan pretended everything was normal. He made her coffee in the mornings. Asked about her day. Complimented her new haircut. He even took her out for dinner, the same Italian place where they'd gone after their wedding. She laughed then, looking almost like the woman he used to know. And yet, beneath every smile, there was calculation. He wanted her to believe she was safe. That her secret was still hers. But inside, he was making plans. He copied the messages. Saved the GPS logs. Contacted a lawyer, quietly, discreetly. North Carolina still recognized alienation of affection lawsuits. It meant he could sue her lover for damages, for stealing affection from the marriage. It wasn't about money. It was about justice. He also found out Ryan's address. He lived in Durham, in a modest house with a porch and a faded flag out front. Ethan drove by once, late at night, and saw Claire's car parked in the driveway. He didn't get out. He didn't need to. The image burned into his mind, permanent as a scar. It was a Thursday evening when it finally came undone. Claire came home late again, rain slicking her hair, perfume heavy in the air. She tossed her purse onto the counter and froze. The kitchen lights were dim, and on the table lay a neatly arranged folder, photos, messages, printouts, a timeline. And her wedding ring. "What is this?" she whispered. Ethan looked at her from the doorway. "You tell me." Her eyes darted to the papers, scanning the evidence. Her face drained of color. "Ethan, please. How long?" His voice was low, trembling but steady. "How long have you been lying to me?" Tears welled in her eyes. "It's not what you think." "Don't," he said sharply. "Don't you dare say that." She stepped closer. "Ethan, I was lonely. You were always so distant, so busy, Anne. And that's your excuse? To destroy everything?" Her voice cracked. "It just happened. I didn't plan it. He made me feel seen again." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Seen? Right." He turned away, staring at the rain against the window. "I saw you too, Claire. I saw the woman I married vanish right in front of me." When he faced her again, his expression was unreadable. "I've already spoken to a lawyer." Her lips parted in shock. "You're divorcing me?" "You cheated on me," he said simply. "What's left?" She sank onto a chair, sobbing. "What about the kids?" "They'll be fine," he said quietly. "You'll explain it to them. Tell them why you threw it all away." The weeks that followed were a blur. Claire moved out, staying with her mother. The house felt emptier than ever, echoing with the ghosts of laughter and half-finished conversations. Ethan went through the motions, work, errands, custody discussions, but nothing felt real. At night, he sometimes caught himself reaching for her side of the bed. He never filed the lawsuit against Ryan. What was the point? Revenge wouldn't fix the emptiness. Wouldn't make him trust again. But he did send Ryan one message: no threats, no anger. Just the truth. "She'll do to you what she did to me." Eventually. There was never a reply. 1 year later, Ethan drove back to the cabin. It had been sold as part of the divorce settlement, but the new owners hadn't moved in yet. The door was still unlocked, the air thick with dust and pine. He stood in the center of the small living room, remembering everything, the laughter, the betrayal, the silence that followed. And yet, instead of rage, he felt something different now. Peace. He walked out to the porch, watching the light fade over the lake. The water shimmered gold, still and endless. Sometimes love doesn't end with fire, it ends with quiet acceptance. He took a deep breath, turned, and walked back to his car. For the first time in a long time, the air felt clean. A few months later, Ethan got an email from Claire. No greeting, no apology, just a short note. "I wanted you to know I'm sorry. You didn't deserve what I did. I hope you're happy someday." He read it once, then deleted it. Outside, the morning sun spilled across the counter, warming his coffee. He took a sip. Still bitter. But this time, it didn't matter.